views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
So sexy it hurts, and I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Hey everybody, welcome back this week to Doing It with Styles. I appreciate all you people that come and watch us every week and support the station here at WWDB.TV and all the other great shows that we have. And I also appreciate those people who don't watch because we don't want you anyway. So today I got a really special guest. This is Don Barnhart.
Hello.
Don is he thinks he's a comedian.
That's what they keep telling me.
That's what he,
Yeah.
Well, as long as people are laughing at you, right?
Right.
Then
I don't care if you laugh at me, with me, or
with-
near me.
yeah, there
If
you
you're
go.
laughing, we're winning.
So you do. Is today's terminology comedian, comic?
Sure.
Or what is,
Yes.
is there a standard?
Idiot.
Idiot, okay. I like that.
Or politician, apparently, because a comic tells a joke and has to apologize because somebody got offended, but a politician says something nasty or racist and then gets out of it by saying it's a joke. Oh,
Right.
well, that's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure anymore, but
Unless
comic,
you say it to AOC.
Right. Right. Comedian, comic,
Okay.
humorous slinger of anecdotal stories. Whatever. It's all good.
What got you into that? What
Great question. Growing up, as you know, but probably the audience, my father was a television director
Right.
who worked on such things like Mork and Mindy, Donnie and Marie. It went on to do Saved by the Bell, and
right.
a ton of others. So I grew up hanging out at the studio. Instead of going to football games in high school, I would go watch Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters.
I've seen pictures.
Oh my! I've seen what happens after the show. So I was blown away. And when I turned 18, it was 1981. I was participating in a lot of experimental medication, and I didn't know
But
what
it wasn't government funded.
No, it was not. It was some good stuff. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I went to join the military.
Okay.
And they were closed that day. The recruiter, not the military.
Right.
I was very medicated. And as I skateboarded home, I saw Help Wanted sign at this comedy club. I went in, I got a job as a doorman, and they couldn't get rid of me. I never left. And that's one night the MC got sick, and I'd been a doorman, and I'd gone in and pretty much would volunteer to work there 24/7, answer phones, I'd clean the restrooms, I bus tables. And the MC got sick one night, couldn't make it, so they needed somebody to host the show. I went on, and I never let him back on stage.
All right.
I would go on and introduce the MC just to get on, and then I worked on my career. And by the time I was 20, I was managing, booking, and I was a house MC at the Comedy Magic Club down in Hermosa Beach, where Leno still works there
Yeah.
every Sunday, Seinfeld, before the TV show,
Yeah.
and the rest is history. And that's all I ever want to do is make people laugh.
There's a couple of TV shows on that I've watched. One is I'm Dying Up Here.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Does that give a reasonably accurate?
It's fictionalized for TV, but it's really close. Like,
Right.
if you know comedy, you know who they're talking about.
Right.
You know who they're talking about. It
That's
kind
what
of,
I thought. So it's good to know that.
yeah. It's kind of inside. But I don't think most people really appreciate it because it's a lot of the, it's that David Lynch lifting up the rug and
Yeah.
seeing what's underneath, and
Yeah.
the tears of the clown, how hard it is really to survive in this industry, and it really is. It's not a moneymaker. I advise people don't. If you want to make money, just stick to computers or
Yeah.
something. But it's a great career, and you can make a great living and have a great life and see the world, and I have. And
Cool. I've done stand up a couple times, just
Ooh.
like on open
Yeah,
mic.
yeah.
Scary as shit. It really is. I mean, I had like 4 tequila shooters before
All
I
right.
got up there.
It's if you have a fifth one, that's where you get into trouble.
Yeah,
and then
but the fourth one was just enough to get me up there
Right,
and get me
okay.
through the 5 minutes,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a skit and everything written
Oh,
and,
good,
and,
good.
and all that, but and I enjoyed the hell out of it. But after the second time, I thought, no, this ain't for me.
It takes
as much as I really got into it, it was like, no, I can't do this, man.
It takes a special kind of stupid to want to get on stage.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the funniest people I know would never get on stage.
Yeah.
My wife cracks me up, and she goes, I don't want to be on stage. No. So there's a chip in our head that's removed that allows us the ability to get on stage and not care.
Right.
If you're laughing at me, I don't care.
Right.
And I think it came back from when I was a kid. My dad, always being a director, Christmas, I'd come down, oh, my presents, open them up, and he'd go, oh, I missed the shot, go back and do it again. I'm like, what? I go, what's my motivation? It's Christmas, you little idiot. Get up there. Rewrap the presents. I'm like, all right, do. But I would do skits in elementary school. I remember the old bum skit, the talent show.
Right.
Some girl would sing, and then me and my buddy would run out, set a table. Waiter, this plate is wet. That, sir, is your soup. And those stupid things, and just making people laugh always, it just did something to my soul. It always made my soul vibrate, and it's just,
I get that.
it's amazing. But I tell people, even people that want to go on stage, I teach stand-up now, and I wrote a book on it, but the one thing, if you have a desire to get on stage, go for it, try it.
Right.
Go to an open mic, see how bad it is.
And that's exactly what I did.
Because that's what I did. I went, well, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could suck that bad. I could tell a knock-knock joke and get a better response. So
Right.
you have Woody Allen was a great writer, never wanted to get on stage, and then we finally got tired of it. Gary Shandling was a great writer.
yeah.
And then he finally got on stage because nobody could do his material the way he did it. And so you don't have to be jokey funny, but just have that personality.
One of my really biggest heroes is George Carlin.
Oh, heard of him.
Yeah. And I loved, and I don't know what you call it, whether it's he's commenting on stuff that we all know about.
Oh,
and have experienced, and it's our everyday lives, and he shines a light on that in such a way that it pisses you off, but it makes you laugh.
Yeah. Well, someone once said,
I love that about him.
Artists, anyone in the art, whatever art it is,
Right.
painting, cooking, whatever your art is, and it should be art. You should find a passion in it. But we have a magnifying glass over our psyche, our soul, and the artist takes that and focuses it down into laser-like precision. Carlin was able to see the world and then focus it down into a statement or a sentence that just went, ah, and it vibrated,
Yeah.
good or bad.
Yeah.
But it pushed that, and art sometimes should leave you thinking.
Yeah.
My only bugaboo now is that I see comics trying to have a point without the ha. And that's what Fremont Street's for. Go get a soapbox down there. But if you can make something funny, it's got to be funny first. Then you can get your point in. Then you can make a statement. Then you can change the world. But if it's not funny, you're just preaching, and that's what Facebook's for, apparently.
Yeah. I don't remember whose quote this is. I don't remember who said it. I wanted to think it was Wilder, but it was, if you are going to tell people the truth, you better make them laugh.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't, they
Yeah.
will kill you.
Oh, who was the dude? Roy Rogers.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
who it was? It sounds like a Roy Rogers quote.
I don't think
or
so.
Twain. Or that drunk down on Fremont Street. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You have to make them laugh first, especially if you're a comic. You're doing a disservice.
Yeah.
You should have so many laughs within a certain amount of time frame. You don't have to be jokey. You can tell stories, but you still have to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And that's one of the Carlin. Bazillion years ago, he was at Bally's here in Las Vegas. In case you don't know where we are. He came down to see our little show. We were doing Catch a Rising Star, and Winston O'Rourke.
Right.
She was booking it, and she brought Carlin to come see us. Didn't tell us because that would have freaked us out. Carlin came up after the show and goes, "Hey, that one bit you do about the obese police," he goes, "that's going to be a bit." I go, "What? I had no idea what he's talking about." He goes, "That one joke, that one little joke, and the joke is if drunk people can sue a bar, fat people should be able to sue an ice cream parlor."
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's going to be a bit. Just keep working on it." And sure enough, 10 years later, that's a 7-minute chunk in my show. And I'm like, he saw that one joke would just evolve and develop.
Yeah.
And he was just the nicest, most unbelievable guy. And especially if you like comedy.
That's what I've heard. I mean, from everyone that I've ever met that has met him says the same thing.
I think most comics are champions of other comics. We want you to succeed. Please don't suck.
Yeah.
Although watching somebody go down in flames is hysterical.
Yeah.
From that circus, carnival, NASCAR in the stands.
It's like
kind
going to karaoke night.
Okay. Right.
And you got the ones that get up there and just knock it out of the park, and then
ringers.
You got the
You know, some guy that plays on a band 7 nights a week. I'm just gonna come into karaoke and do you need the screen? No, I don't need the screen. I got it started, guys. Bam. You know.
So what is it about comedy that you like the most? What is the thing that really lights you up?
The sound of laughter and seeing people smile.
Yeah.
And that's just, there's something that's as soothing to me as the sun setting over the ocean and hearing the calm and the waves, that laughter. It just resonates in my soul. There's something about humor that is, to me, life is a pressure cooker. There's a lot of BS in life.
Yeah.
My backstory, there's some dark periods, but in a pressure cooker, you have to release the steam, otherwise it'll explode.
Right.
And I think humor does that for us. Laughter is sort of that
Relief valve.
Yeah. So when we're in a tense situation, that's why you laugh at a funeral. That's why in church, and it's so serious, and somebody says something smart alecky, you bust out laughing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's such a release, and it brings people together. You can disagree on so many things, but if you laugh, it's a bond between people that we shared that experience.
Yeah.
And you walk away feeling better. It releases endorphins. The whole laughter is the best medicine. There are studies on that, how it does.
Oh,
It is healthy.
I'm a firm believer in
You
it.
know,
I really am.
look at countries that don't laugh.
Yeah.
You know, look at our country. You know, we need to be laughing more.
Yes, we do.
You know.
So, do you have a preference as to smaller, intimate crowds or large crowds? Is there one that you prefer more than the other?
The ones that pay. So if you pay a
So
lot,
if they both pay the same.
if you pay a lot for a small show or a little for a large show,
Right.
I'm, okay either way. I like more intimate probably because I think Steve Martin talked about it. It becomes an event. If you're playing to 5,000 people, you lose a connection.
Right.
I can't see your response if you're starting to get a little tense, because comedy should push the envelope. You should go to the razor's edge, put a foot over, make people uncomfortable, and then turn it around with a laugh.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion. So a big crowd, you lose some of that.
Right.
300 people, I could still hear, see enough. 750, 1,000, which I played bigger places. It's fun. It's the rock star thing, but it's
Yeah.
joke, laugh, but I'm already to the next joke. So
Yeah.
it's really difficult in that sense.
So in a larger crowd, your timing is going to be different, maybe?
Completely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because the first wave, it's the Doppler effect.
Right.
So they don't hear the joke, and so it's ha, ha, ha. You're already setting up the next joke, and all of a sudden you get this wave of laughter, so it kind of slaps you back.
Yeah.
So that you can put a little cotton in your ear, but you have to really bite your tongue and hold your timing.
Yeah.
If you notice Chris Rock in his big specials, he's playing to huge stadiums. He'll repeat a joke twice. Da 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 da, da 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 da, boom. Because it's given time for people to kind of catch it. And it sort of delays, so everybody's on the same page, and the laughter kind of pops.
Do you have a favorite comic or someone that you just really love to watch?
Jim Jeffries, I like right now, just because he's so, I don't care, screw off, this is my world, you either like it or don't. So he's kind of that Carlin-esque for this era.
To me, he reminds me of a cross between George Carlin and Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, I love Ricky Gervais
yeah,
too.
me too.
I love the fact that he doesn't apologize.
You know, here's things that we all know him as a comic.
Right.
But he's also done a couple of TV things that he's done Derek.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen that. It's about a mentally challenged guy who works in a nursing home.
Okay. I haven't seen. Yeah, great.
It's phenomenal.
Well,
It is so far removed from his
Oh wow.
normal. I mean, he really. I mean, you're laughing and crying by the end.
Oh
of it.
wow.
And
great.
It's on. I think you can find it on either Netflix
Okay.
or Prime, one of the two.
Good,
But it's
good,
called
okay.
Derek.
He also has Afterlife.
Yeah, that I love
Yeah,
too.
and again, it's that I don't want to say dark comedy, but it's that honest comedy.
Right.
It's pain plus time equals funny, and pressure. The more it builds up, and when people are at their worst, and again, my father.
Right.
My father, he passed away, but he was known to medicate with the glaucoma issues, and his last day on this planet, I was there, and my father, we were always laughter was the one thing. We never threw a football, but we go see movies, we see
Right.
comedy. I look up at the wall, and I smoked pot with my dad. Let's just, you don't need all the details. So anyway, all right, I got a backstory to this now. My dad and he was raising me as the only kid to my father, to my mom. I'm the youngest of a big thing. That's a whole nother story. So my dad takes me to go see the movie The Song Remains the Same, Led Zeppelin, 1978.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, I don't know if you've ever tried a marijuana cigarette before. And I go, you want one of mine? So
How old were you at the time?
12. So he was a good dad.
Yeah, no.
Maybe not the best, but and the things he taught me. So life goes around. We all grow up, and so his last breaths on this planet, I'm saying goodbye to my father. I look up at the wall, and the clock's ticking, and I go, oh my gosh. I go, Dad, if you could hold on for another minute, it'll be 4:20, and you'll go out on a laugh.
I remember that.
And I swear to God, like my aunt's singing to him, and I'm holding his hand, and his last breath, he exhaled, and I look up at the wall, and the nurse comes in and goes, time of death, 16:20, 4:20.
Right.
And I'm crying because my father's leaving the planet, but I'm laughing hysterically. My father went out on a laugh, and that's something, no matter how bad a day I'm having, or I miss my dad, he went out on a laugh. The son of a bitch went out on a laugh. And so to me, those are those moments in life that you cherish, because we all cry, we all have heartache,
Sure.
and the passing of life is sad, but it's temporary. So if you have laughter along the way, you'll always have those
Yeah,
moments.
I had forgotten about that, and I remember you telling that back then. So
I had to explain to my aunt what 420 meant. She goes, "Why are you laughing?" I go, "Well, you see, 420 is a code for pot, and Dad, your brotor, what?" I go, "Well, we had you had your relationship, I had mine."
yeah. Yeah,
So-
I miss him sometimes too. So, you have been since what, 92? You've been entertaining the troops as well.
Yeah, I was blessed to get divorced. The first, So I was about to quit comedy, and the universe has always told me, and I always try and let go and let God, whatever your definition is of that. The universe has always had a better plan for me. The more I struggle and roadblocks come up, that means it's trying to edge me this way. And every time I've quit comedy, something's happened to bring me back in. I've quit 3 times in my life. And this one time after I got divorced, before I got divorced, I was going to quit the road. I was going to cancel all my dates and try and work it out with my first marriage. And it didn't work out. And I had no dates on the book, and I found myself traveling through Europe and going around the world. And I saw a USO sign. I was in, was it Denmark? And there's a USO sign. I went across the street and I asked, hey, do you guys USO? I'm a comedian out of America. So I did a show for them. And then one thing led to another. And since 1992, I've been producing, performing, and booking comedy shows for the military, whether USO, Comics on Duty, Armed Forces Entertainment, and our own Battle Comics, battlecomics.org. We've taken George Wallace and a ton of other celebrities. We have a movie out called I Am Battle Comic. Jordan Brady directed it, part of the I Am Comic series. But it's about the importance of entertaining the troop and bringing something, a piece of home to them. My wife's gone over doing comedy for the troops, teaching self-defense to the women in the military. George Lopez is in the movie, Dave Attell. We have clips of Bob Hope and Robin Williams. And I'm on the same stage that Robin Williams was on the same stage, and so it's just been a gas. It's important to put something back, and whatever your cause is, whether it's homelessness, whether it's feed the children, whatever it is, you got to do something in this life.
Back.
And mine is the military, because people volunteer to protect our country. Politics aside, I don't agree with a lot of stuff our politicians do on both sides of the fence, by the way.
Yeah.
Before anybody complains.
Send your cards and letters too.
Yeah, nothing is always or never, my friends. But the military, the people that support our country and our way of life, that protect us, it's important to go serve them. I'm the water boy on the Super Bowl team. That's how I always say.
Yeah.
But it's important, and it's just a great thing to do. It makes you really appreciate the freedoms and liberties we have when you see what our men and women are doing overseas. And it's not just about war. They're doing a lot of philanthropy.
Yeah.
Our Marines in Djibouti, they were like, hey, you want where they had the all the pirates off the coast. They go, you want to see what else we do besides just kill bad guys and stuff? I go, yeah. So we went out, and they were building an entire plumbing system for the refugee kids, which was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
But they were putting in plumbing and fresh water and toilets, and we played with the kids and soccered up with them and had the time of our life. But it's great to see what they're doing. They're not just they're trying to make the world a better place,
Yep.
And I believe in the goodness of people, although some people really want to test my
Push the
limits.
limits.
Yeah.
So you're also an author.
Yeah, got a
books
couple
here.
of them. Yeah, those are just two of them.
Which one was first? Finding Your Funny or Rock Bottom?
Finding Your Funny is first.
Okay.
That's a book on comedy. I started teaching, 10, 15 years ago, Las Vegas Comedy Institute. And so it was kind of a compilation of all the stories that I told in class, what you need to know about doing comedy. What's an opener do, a feature act, a headliner. I interviewed George Wallace, Harry Basil from the Laugh Factory, agents, managers, other entertainers, just about what you need to know, what Seinfeld told me when I started, what George Wallace told me, what Louis Anderson told me, and all the people that mentored me. And I find myself now being a mentor to other people and helping them along. And people go, well, why would you want to do that? You're creating competition. No, it just raises the watermark.
The water lifts all boats.
Yeah. So
there's a thing on the back here that I found interesting.
Oh,
It says,
sure.
exploring the art, science, and business of stand-up comedy.
yeah.
And I think that is something that people in the entertainment business, for one, miss a lot. And that is, it is a business.
It's called show business.
That's right.
That's the bigger word.
And you have
Man.
to be aware of that,
Oh.
or you're screwed right
Yeah.
from the start.
There's nothing, I forgot the quote, there's nothing worse than an artist discovered after he dies.
Yes.
Don't you want to have some success on this planet now?
Yeah,
And
there's nothing wrong with that.
no, you should. So I wanted to share all the stuff that helped me, and I'm not the most famous comic ever.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know who I am unless you're into comedy, but I've done a lot, and I've been very, very fulfilled in my life with comedy, so I wanted to share that. So it's a great book on just what you need to know. A lot of people go to open mics, and they spend 5 years going to open mics, and they never get out on the road, and they think they're a comic, and they go, well, how come you don't book me? Well, you have to go. It's a buyer's market. You
Yeah.
can't wait around for someone to discover you.
I see that more and more. It's you have to be proactive.
Totally.
You can't just say, okay, here I am. I'm
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
Come give me money.
Man, I wish it worked that way, because I'd be good at it. Sitting in my pool, come find me. And the other part, though, is that a lot of people, just because you have an hour of material doesn't mean anybody's going to pay you to listen to it.
Right.
So I hear this from young comics. Oh, I got an hour. Where have you performed an hour? Who paid you to perform for an hour?
Right.
No, you have 3 minutes. That's mediocre at best. Well, they've never perfected that. So a band, who's your favorite band? I don't know. The Eagles, let's take them.
Yeah.
Hotel California, how long did they practice that? How long do they still practice even now before a concert?
Yeah.
They tune that song. That song is perfect. They've got the nuances. So a joke is the same way. Carlin did that.
Yeah.
that joke,
I
the subtlety, the inflection, the timing, the look, that's all so perfected. It's art.
the last time that he was here in Vegas before he
Yeah.
passed, I saw him at the I think it was the Orleans.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he tells you, okay, I'm working on my stuff for my next HBO
Yeah.
special. So some of it's good, some of it's not. Some
Yeah.
you may hear, some you won't.
Right.
Or it's like, and he's reading off the
Yeah.
cards.
Oh.
And
The honesty of that is
if
so-
he's not getting the
yeah.
reaction that he wants, it's like,
Yep.
it was just, especially
Yeah.
because it was the last time I saw him before he passed.
Yeah.
So it was so special to see that. Here's how I'm building
Right.
what I'm going to do.
You've seen it in
And he was,
yeah.
had been going to different places around the country with that, getting prepared for the special.
Robin used to do that.
Yeah.
He'd start at one end of the country, go across until he finishes and the special's ready. Yeah.
Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters. And I saw Jonathan Winters was being interviewed, and I'm trying to remember who was interviewing him at his home.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
this was when Robin was just peaking.
Right.
So it's about
Yeah.
10 minutes into this interview, and I'm watching this on television, and there's a knock at the door, or a doorbell or something, and you can hear some little commotion, and Robin Williams walks in,
Yeah.
and Jonathan Winters didn't know he was coming.
Oh wow.
And,
wow.
and the interviewer didn't know he was coming. And so, they're kind of chatting for a minute or two, and then Robin sits down. And within 2 minutes, those two are off.
Oh, it's
And
unbelievable. It's magic.
you see the guy trying to do the interview, and he just finally goes, and just
Yeah.
sits there. And the rest of the interview is Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters feeding off of each
Yeah.
other. And just the brilliance of those two individuals, and what it was like breathing for them.
Yeah. They're in their element.
Yeah.
And so that's my favorite comic, probably Robin.
Yeah.
But there's so many subtleties of different genres. Carlin, Pryor, Chris Rock. There's so many variables. And so growing up, I got to go hang out on the set of Mork and Mindy, and I would sit there. They'd start filming, I think, at 7 o'clock. I'd usually go early for the dress rehearsal because that was a different show altogether. Right. They had Robin just on a leash. Just say the line. Just say the line. They'd take a break. Then they come back. Once the audience came in, they would film at 7. We'd be there till 1 in the morning because the rule was don't stop filming.
Yeah.
Whatever Robin did, he would just go off. Somewhere, Gary Marshall, his family, somebody's got piles and piles and piles of film on Robin just ad-libbing going off. And I wish they could release that because that was the magic.
Oh, yeah, that would be. And your dad had told me at one time that Pam Dauber was actually the anchor there that they used when he would go off, and they would switch to her
Just
so that they could have a break to come back from,
Yeah.
And
They had a Robin camera.
Yeah.
And then they had the Pam camera
Yeah.
to make sure we had a cutaway. They're like, just stand there and
yeah.
okay,
But
Mork.
anyway, so I want to get back to the book because the other one is called Rock Bottom.
Yeah.
And this has a picture of a military person putting their boots on with a bottle of Jameson down on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of assuming. I mean, I get the subtlety of what that means.
Well, hopefully. Hopefully.
So tell me about this book. How does this
So-
come about?
That's
Well, tell me what it's about first.
it's about a returning veteran who comes home to find his wife has left him.
Okay.
His life is in shambles. His house
So this is a fictional novel?
fictional novel
Okay.
based on a lot of truths.
Right.
So he finds out his life is upside down. He hits rock bottom, and then he finds his way back through comedy.
Okay.
He kind of does what a lot of comics do. He goes to the barber college for a $2 haircut.
Yeah.
He ends up going to an open mic for the free burger. That part's fictionalized. No open mic gives you free food.
I was just
but
gonna say.
you get a drink, and then he finds out his pain is actually funny. So somewhere along the way, he becomes the Robin Hood of the disenfranchised.
That's it.
And it's based on a lot of stuff that's happened with a lot of my military friends, a lot of the humors out of my own life. I found out my ex was dating again. Excuse me. So I put
Before she was your ex.
yes, yeah. I thought we had a good marriage till her boyfriend showed up. So it's a lot of stuff out of my act, out of my life, but a lot of stuff about homelessness, about veterans, about the housing crisis and foreclosures. So I just packed a lot of that in. I wrote it as a film, and then I rewrote it as a book.
Gotcha.
So my father, he was going to direct it at one point until he passed and the economy tanked. So now we're kind of in limbo.
Yeah.
And we'll put it back together. But in the meantime, I rewrote it as a book, and it's available for downloads. And,
Okay, well, I'm going to read this one
yeah,
first.
please. Yeah, it's a great story. It's fun. It's heartfelt. There's humor in it, but it's a nice story.
Okay.
So real proud of it. Rock bottom. And the movie's called Freeloader.
Freeloaders?
Freeloader.
With an S or no
Just
S?
one.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the freeloader, but then he kind of helps
Gotcha.
people out along the way. So.
Right. So, any other books in the works?
Yeah, I have a new book actually that I'm working on. It's like the other night I had a brain fart, as you will, and I got up in the middle of the night and I wrote something down because right now people are fighting over COVID. Yes, no, mask. Yes, no. We're apart, so we can talk like this. But
Right.
at under 6 feet, you're bad. 6.5 feet's good. Oh, can't have live entertainment, but you can go to a casino.
Right.
So there are all these. Everyone's fighting. And I thought, why are they fighting? What's so special about life? So my idea is to interview people that have had a near-death experience,
Right.
whether it's a heart attack or whether it's COVID related, doesn't have to be, or whether you're in a car accident, you had a near-death experience, and you lived. So you had 10 years, 5 years. What have you learned? What would you have missed had you not lived? And that's what I kind of want to interview people and talk about. What would you have missed? What's so important about life? Remember Princess Bride?
Oh, yeah.
He goes, what's so important that he should live?
Yeah.
Oh, well, bankers, he's going to justice. No, love.
Yeah.
True love. So what is it about life? Remember Saving Private Ryan? He
Yes.
goes, live a life worth this.
Yeah.
So to me, what is it? What would you have missed if you didn't die? If you didn't have that heart attack? I would love to have interviewed my father. And I think I know his answers.
Right.
But after his heart attack, he lived several years until his next one. But what did you experience? What did you enjoy? What seeing your kids graduate? My sister-in-law, she has dialysis, kidney failure. Her whole goal is to watch her nephew grow up, and she has. So she's been able to watch her nephew, and now because she couldn't have kids, so
Yeah.
her nephew is the most important thing. So maybe that would put a perspective on what is the importance of life for us right now. Why are we fighting all the time?
That's just an awesome concept.
Well, thank you.
I
Thanks.
have anyone who has not traveled the world,
Yeah.
or I spent a little time in Southeast Asia, vacation for
Okay.
my uncle.
Yeah, yeah.
And seeing the rest of the world and how people live and how spoiled we are in this country and how ungrateful,
Yeah.
aggressively ungrateful we are for what we have and how greedy we are in not wanting to share it or why would you not want other people to have all the good things in life?
Right.
Why would you want to refuse that for them?
It creates a different class of society that's going to be bitter, angry, and
Yeah.
resentful.
Yeah.
So to me, if you're successful, you can do more good with your success. That's what I don't understand. Like, poverty isn't a goal.
Right.
So if you go and do great things, then you can help more people. In my viewpoint. So
Exactly.
and it's the idea of the book is to put a perspective on life, to go, hey, take a step back, look at all this time that we have right now. What's important?
Yeah.
Why are you fighting on Facebook or social media for what? Oh, well, you don't know because somebody's going to die. Okay, so let's take a step back. We're all going to die.
Right.
Not to be morbid. So this life is a gift. These are temporary earth suits that we're in. Whatever your belief system is, if there is or isn't an afterlife. But what's so important about now? Consuming, helping each other, love, kindness, sharing, and collectively growing. So what is it important? Why are we fighting? Why aren't we working together? Growing up, I always thought you could disagree. Democrats, conservatives, Republicans, liberals, you could all disagree, but still at the end go, Okay, we're going to compromise. This is best for everybody. Now it's my way or the highway.
And that's
And
the way
it's-
it was up until 20 years ago
Yeah.
or whatever. And I don't know exactly what happened that I mean, our politicians, you know, they would fight like cats and dogs.
I can tell you what happened.
But they would still go to lunch
Right.
together or dinner together
Sure.
or you know, go out and be
Right.
friends. So, okay, tell me what happened.
I tell you exactly what happened. Discipline. There's no discipline anymore. So I remember I got my the old choke chain. You know, you got you pull that choke chain before your kid gets to the end of the cliff.
Yeah.
Now, if you let kids just boo-hoo, there's no consequence. So you can go spray paint and graffiti and destroy something under the guise of protest.
Right.
And that's okay. No, that's a crime.
Right.
I don't care where you just stand on politics. That's a crime. Now, I support peaceful protesting.
As do
but
I.
the minute you break something,
And that's it. As soon as you get violent, as soon as you start
you
destroying
elevate it to a
things-
different level.
Right.
So I will defend all my Metro friends are like, we don't want to bring tear gas. You're created. Now, bad elements come in, so those should be rooted out.
Right.
However,
And that's the difficulty is
Yeah.
they blend in.
yes.
So and
Yeah.
it's just like you got a bad cop, so all cops are bad.
Right.
You got one person in a demonstration that creates hell,
So all
they're
protests are
bad.
bad, yeah.
You know, you got one bad politician, well, six bad politicians.
Well, 6,000, yeah. But the old rule is fire burns for a reason. Pain is a motivator. If your hand is burning, take it out of the fire.
Yes.
And there's no cause and effect because so many people now, and I understand we don't want abuse and corporal punishment, but I got whacked once in high school because I was being out of line and the teacher backhanded me,
Yeah.
and I deserved it. And you know what? I changed my life.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And I agree.
Now, it's a fine line because people
Enjoy that.
Yeah, and you pay extra for that in Vegas. Yabba-dabba-dabba-boo. So there is no cause and effect. So, boo-hoo. If you, like my wife with our nephews and nieces, she would go, we're going to the movies. If you don't behave, I'm turning around. And you know what? The minute they don't behave, she turns around.
Yes.
Not this, okay, this time I mean it. Now, one more time, little Johnny. Well, another time. You let people get away with that, then they just keep pushing the boundaries. And what happens is then law enforcement has to step in down the road when they're adults and they don't realize there's cause and effect. You can't just behave like an
Right.
idiot.
There are no consequences.
Yeah.
You know, and you're absolutely right. I agree. We've talked about that a lot. So.
All of a sudden, I'm these damn kids today with their freedoms and their stuff, and to having all the information at our fingertips sure has made us stupid.
Yeah, it has.
Because your smartphone, it looks like gorillas eating ants with a stick. They're not getting information.
Yeah.
Where when I was growing up, and probably you, encyclopedia, that was all the information you had, A to Z.
Right.
And if somebody checked out S's, you're stuck
You're
with
screwed.
aardvarks.
Yeah.
So
So I want to talk about this
sure.
right here.
my other project.
which is Sin City Salsa.
Oh.
As I told you, I love salsa.
Oh,
Just,
awesome.
I love Hispanic food, Mexican food, whatever you want to call it. No offense. I love it.
It's delicious. It's the number one condiment
Yeah.
over ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise, which I'm a big fan of.
I have literally put salsa on my mashed potatoes.
People do.
Yeah.
I put on my salad. I don't
Yeah.
use salad dressing. I
Yep.
use the milder version for my salad, and then we have maliciously, immorally mild,
Okay.
maliciously medium, and hellaciously hot.
Oh, cool.
It's like two devils dancing on your tongue.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's my Tiger Joe impression. Hi, how you doing? So my wife and I, growing up, I always, as an actor, as a comedian, I always ended up working in food service. So in Southern California, you have a lot of Hispanic cooks.
Right.
I needed a job, so I've been working since I was 16 to support my craft, to support my art. My dad goes, "You want to do this, and you got to pay for it. You got to earn it." So I was working as a bar back, as a busboy, a prep cook in a lot of restaurants, and so I would wash the tomatoes and the cilantro, and then watch them chop it up and cook, and they'd make these big vats of it, just chips and salsa, man, just chips and salsa. So Southern California has a certain flavor to it.
Yep.
Now, and I loved it. So I always made my own at home. But I changed up a little bit. Add a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, a little more garlic, yeah, a little parsley, a little oregano, some olive oil. So we kind of doctored it up and made it, and I always made it for my wife, and she goes, this is amazing. What if we did this? And so she put a little something in there, a little Thai chili pepper, that kind of just creeps up on you. So it's not hot unless you go for the hot.
Right.
So it just kind of creeps and goes, hi, I got a flavor. And so she loved it. So we started making it for our friends. And so every time we have a party, a barbecue, we throw some salsa out there. People go, this is great, man. Where'd you get it? We didn't get it anywhere. We made it. Because I came to Vegas, and as much as I love fajitas and tacos, nobody had that Southern California salsa.
Well,
it's a certain
too much
flavor.
of it just tastes like tomatoes.
Right.
And
Pico
that's
de
not
gallo.
salsa.
Yeah, this is like a pico de gallo.
Right.
And then when we cook it and can it, it's more salsa.
Gotcha.
But it's very chunky, fresh. A lot of the pico de gallo is just onions, cilantro, and chopped tomatoes. There's no flavor. It doesn't mix well. I don't put green peppers in it because that's South Tex-Mex.
Right.
And I would debate you, Slade Ham, if you're watching this. No, Tex-Mex is not Mexican. So here's this Asian woman and this white dude. We're making our own salsa.
To me, that's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's not cheap because it's all organic. So
Right.
we go out hand pick organic vegetables. So it's a lot more expensive.
So
and
you're
it's-
getting everything is locally grown and
we try to get locally grown. Sometimes it comes out of Arizona or
Right.
California just
Okay.
because we don't,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
can't.
hard.
Yeah.
But from this region,
Right, the Southwest.
we're trying to source it more from Las Vegas.
Right.
And then it's all organic. We make each batch fresh. We don't mass produce it. We would like to one day. Right now, and then we have fresh that we local delivery for 2 orders or more, and then we have canned, jarred version that we can mail out nationally now.
Okay.
And it's blown up. It's like all of a sudden, SinCitySalsa.com. We're like, oh my gosh, we got to go make more salsa. Like
Okay,
it
that's
seems,
what I was going to ask you. SinCitySalsa.com.
Yeah.
Right.
and it's life's too short to eat cheap salsa.
I love it. And life's too important to take seriously.
It is. It is.
I love that. That's Oscar Wilde. That's my favorite.
Oh, is it? The best quote I saw as a kid, Bugs Bunny: "Don't take life too seriously because you'll never get out alive."
Yeah.
So you may as well enjoy the
Good old
process.
Bugs.
Yeah,
So if it is, I'm just imagining this. I'm not sure.
Oh, sure.
Is every batch maybe just a little bit different?
Yes, it's gonna be. Now we taste test every batch.
Right, but I mean,
So-
it's basically here's the basics.
Yes.
But this one has a little bit different flavor than.
It's gonna
than
be
the last
each
time I bought this.
probably because
right.
tomatoes are a little ripe, a little sweeter.
Right.
Or the jalapenos, like the last batch, the jalapenos, 2 jalapenos, nothing.
Yeah.
We had to go 3, no, 4. We go, okay, now we're doing it.
Right.
And then this batch here, the jalapeno, now that's the mild you're gonna try, but the batch jalapenos, the woo, 2 was like slapping you upside the head, going, get out of bed, punk. That's so you have to like, oh, you never know.
So, having said that, so I'm assuming that you're washing your hands more frequently now.
Oh my
after
gosh.
handling that beverage.
Oh, yeah, we've got.
Because we've all been there, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
we're in hazmat suits cooking, and like the peppers, and like, oh, you got to be careful, and you can't touch anything anyway. So we got to be,
So you can you ship this worldwide?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not worldwide yet. We
Okay,
don't.
but at least in the continental
Yeah,
U.S.
in the continental U.S., Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Happy to send it. Shipping's the most expensive part yet because we're still a new company.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten to that next level. We're looking at Amazon Prime, which will help with the shipping cost.
Right.
And again, we're not making a lot off it because most of it's going to shipping and the cost to make it because it's organic.
Yeah.
So you go to Walmart and you could buy a jug of salsa, for $3, and it's full of salt. This has the sodium content is so low. I think it's 70 or 80% depending on which batch you have. Which most salsas are 250 milligrams of sodium.
Wow.
So you got salt on your chips. You don't need that much
Yeah.
salt if you have flavor, and it's all flavor, so it's got a punch.
And that's part of and that's why I asked you to bring the mild, because
Yeah.
there is, you reach a certain point where there is no flavor anymore. It's
Right.
just hot.
Right. And even the hot, because the Thai chili pepper, it kind of sneaks up on you.
Okay.
So you take a bite, you go, all right, that's kind of nice. And then you kind of go, as you're reaching for the next one, you go, hello, hello, Norman, hello. So we don't, I don't want to just sweat.
Yeah.
I want to taste it. I don't want to just,
that's my point. I
Yeah.
want to taste. I want to taste the stuff. I don't put ketchup on French fries.
Too spicy?
No, I like the taste of the French fries.
Oh, yeah.
And the ketchup just.
Wait, which fries? Like what place do you go? Okay.
You
You're not a fry connoisseur of.
I prefer two things.
Okay.
Number one,
This
it's
is telling me a
actually
lot
number
about
two.
your character.
Yeah, and that's the crisscross fries.
Oh, yeah, those
Yeah.
are great.
Some are good, some
Oh,
but I
yeah.
mean, if you get really good ones, they're really good. The other
Yeah.
is tater tots.
Okay, yeah.
And I love
yeah.
tater tots because I used to live right around the corner from the Hollywood Ranch Market
Okay.
on Vine Street,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
now closed, but they are the birthplace of the tater tot.
Really?
They had an open right on the street.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Ranch Market?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had like the food counter or the deli counter
Yeah.
kind of right out there on the street, and they would have these steamed pans of tater tots.
Oh.
And on the way home from school,
Fresh,
it's like
yeah.
25 cents, and you get a bag of tater tots that
Oh,
size.
man.
And so
A little crispy on the outside
Oh yeah,
and soft.
just and they were just that perfect combination.
If
and
your
I know-
mouth isn't salivating right now, we're doing something
Yeah.
wrong. Cause,
and like chicken fingers or chicken
Oh,
nuggets or
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
that's you dip in the salsa.
right.
You know, you have to do that. But anyway, yeah, the tater tots and the crisscross fries are just, I mean, any kind of potatoes. I love potatoes.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
I guess it's the Irish in me. Or
I love
whatever,
the. We used to play down in Hermosa Beach where I lived. Tommy's.
Right. Oh,
They,
yeah.
They're all over the
Oh,
cheese, the chili cheeseburger.
Yeah.
One of my proms, we got a
I'm
limo.
sorry, but Pink's is better.
No, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Tommy's is good. I like Tommy's,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But that's all we had where I lived. So we'd
Right.
go surf. We'd come out and get a thing of chili cheese fries and a Tommy burger smothered, just dripping. Our hair's wet. We're still in our wetsuits.
Right.
We had just enough change out of our ashtray to buy a burger. Oh. We also make Cupid's was a good one with
Yeah.
the Cupid hot dog.
Yeah.
That was another. Welcome to Food Chat with John and Don.
Yeah. There's. Are you familiar with the group Strawberry Alarm Clock?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The whole backstory there, but they shot their album cover in my sister's boutique in Westwood.
Oh, wow.
And she made all their outfits and clothes for them and stuff like that. So they.
Oh,
anyway,
I love it.
So
That's
the
great.
drummer for Strawberry Alarm Clock lives here in Vegas, and he has a food truck called Hot Diggity Dogs,
Oh,
which is the closest. Their
Yeah.
chili dogs is the closest I've ever had to Pink's.
wow.
And
That's-
I'm sorry, Gene, but I know they're good, but Pink's.
Again, Cupid's, we found this spicy dog down in LA. It's delicious. Oh my God. But it's like a fajita hot dog. So bell peppers, onions on an egg bun. It's just, we haven't been able to find it here. We've been to every hot dog shop in town. We haven't been able to find it. We even called them. I go, I'll buy a case of these stupid hot dogs.
Yeah.
And then we found these one, I can't tell you the name because my wife's the brains behind all this.
Yeah.
I'm the eye candy. And so it's close, but it's never the same.
Yeah.
But it's close. So your friend, Hot Diggity Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta check that out, man.
Oh yeah, he's all over the place. They go to First Friday and all this.
Oh,
stuff,
good,
and
good.
All the events and yeah, they great food, great hot dogs, great everything, man.
Awesome.
I love them.
Now, I'd be remiss. The part of the Sin City Salsa is our friends, a young comedian Chi and her husband Joe Bolton. She's one of my comedy students, so she's a really funny young lady. And they would come to our barbecues, and we became friends. And they make a chili oil called chichi pepper.
Oh, cool.
So they started making it, and they were going to farmers market. They go, oh, it's our chili oil that they put on condiments. You dip stuff in. It's delicious, and they have different flavors. So they started doing their stuff online with Amazon, and their company blew up, and they do an amazing business. So we were talking to them, and they were at our house, and they go, well, you make the salsa. Why don't you do what we're doing? So we started this because Joe and Chi inspired us from the success they're having with Chichi Pepper, chichipepper.com. And they go, no, we'll help you. We'll guide you along the way because we're chili oil, you're a salsa, so we're good. And so they've inspired us and been very supportive of us putting this together and kind of helped us so we didn't have to spend a year and a half failing or reinventing the wheel. They go, well, here's what you need. Here's how the people from the Nevada Health District to make sure we're licensed, make sure we have all that, and we have all our ingredients and stuff. So they've been very instrumental. And the thing is, you could do your own business, and that's what we have to do right now. You have to reinvent yourself. You could sit around and wait.
And that's the other thing too that I know. I know a lot of people in the entertainment business here in Las Vegas, and it's tough. I mean, how are you surviving?
That's a good question because Dieter's really helping out.
I know.
Anyway, but there's unemployment. Sure, that helps. The PUA has helped a lot of independent contractors. But Vegas, there's no entertainment in the entertainment capital of the world.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of out of work and it's not just a person on stage. And this is what my father always instilled in me. You don't get on stage until the curtain opens, until the light is screwed into the light canister, until the guy drives the light bulb from the shop to the stage, until the guy makes the light bulb. So we're all in this together. You just happen to be in front. So I always learned stagecraft and the business part and all the production that goes into it. So those people are out of work too. The stagehands, the grips, the riggers, we're all out of work. And so right now it's up to us to reinvent ourselves. Now, Trump's daughter,
Ivanka?
Yeah, just change. Just do something different.
Did a different job.
I spent 35 years building a career, and you're telling me to do something different. I have 2 comedy clubs.
But there's nothing different to do out there. There's nothing
there. Bing. So, go back to the beginning. In the meantime, as much as I'm not a big fan, she's not wrong in essence.
Right.
Because in the meantime, you can wait for unemployment. I have 2 comedy clubs in town that are not open, so I'm not employing 3 comics a night or 6 comics a night with 2 clubs. One's my residency. My hypnosis show, we own. There's so many people not working. I have no choice. So in the meantime, I'm going to rewrite my book. I'm going to do it as an ebook now, so it's even cheaper and available. I'm making salsa. I thought, you know what? I'll cook dinner for you. You want to come to my house? I'll charge you. I'll make you filet and lobster. You've got to do something instead of waiting around. That's the American spirit.
Yes.
So she's not right, but in the meantime, all you have control over is your reaction to the situation. So you can be mad and angry or figure something out.
Yeah.
I'd go back to school, but they're closed. So what is it that you could do? It goes back to Robert Rodriguez when he was talking about making a film from dusk to dawn and all his first films.
Love his stuff.
He goes, well, I had a guitar, I had a turtle, and I had a place in Mexico to shoot. So I made El Mariachi.
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me, like, well, I make salsa. People love salsa. They like our salsa. Why not make it available? So we did. And if, go clean your street. If you're having a problem, offer to clean your neighbor's lawn. Do something. Do anything.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
However, your neighbor doesn't have any money either.
Well, there's that. Yeah. Well,
no. But the gist of what you're saying is the foundation behind it, or the evidence behind it is that we need to help each other out here.
Right. So how do we do that?
Together, right.
So I'll trade you my salsa for what do you have? If you got something you want to trade out, like you make a guy online makes cheesecakes. Oh my God, they're delicious.
Yeah.
But I'll trade you salsa for cheese. It gets back to that barter system now of what can we do?
Well, there's some nonprofits that I work with and animal rescues and things like that. And we don't make any money here, and so we don't have any money to give them. Right. But I can give them exposure.
Sure.
And so that's what we try to do.
That's awesome.
Is help them by getting the awareness out,
right?
And things like that.
Because somebody's got money. Somebody does, and they can help. So
and it's not just $1 or $2 sometimes makes all the difference in the world, or time. you know, just, hey, I need some help doing this because I don't
Right.
know how to do it.
If
you
you
show
can
me how to do that?
volunteer, if you can do
Right.
this, and
Exactly.
you know, we'd love to build our company up to where we're hiring people. But right
Yeah.
now, it's a ma and pa, and but that's the thing is we have to be resilient. We always have to reinvent ourselves. Now, they just said Garth Brooks has pushed his concert from August back to February.
Right.
Ouch. So if that's going, that means we're probably not opening up our comedy clubs. That 2 week that turned into 4 months, it's
Yep.
now going to be 5, 6, or probably the rest of the year. That's going to hurt. And so unemployment isn't enough to live off. I love how people say, oh, all these people are sucking off the system and living the high life. That's a small percent of people that are making a little bit more because they're
and
making
most
so
of those
little.
people are in Congress.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Why are they?
Because,
yeah.
listen, I know, I can't think of anybody that I know that doesn't want to work.
Everybody I know wants to work.
And it's,
Everybody.
they're not saying, oh yeah, this is great, I'm going to do this forever. Bullshit.
Right.
They want to get back out there. They want to. I mean, I think it's just human nature to want to take care of yourself, I guess. Or,
I think so.
Or
Yeah, you
have
might-
some self-esteem.
Well, this goes back to the rock bottom book. You hit bottom, and it's like the 7 stages or 6 stages of death.
Right.
Anxiety, animosity, mourning, acceptance,
yeah.
anger, all that. At some point, you just got to go, well, all right, this is what it is. If my career's over, if there's no more live entertainment, which I don't believe will happen,
Right.
because I think that's going to come back bigger, better than before.
I
Different.
on the one
Different,
hand, I
yeah.
think that you're absolutely right there, and I've thought that this may be a blessing in disguise for us.
In some ways, sure.
Right. In
yeah.
others, it sucks, but
Yeah.
in some ways, I think it has made us a little more aware of where we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
And like you say, I've been in construction my entire life.
And
That's what I did. When
and
that
up.
took a dump here,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, so here I am. I
Right.
have reinvented myself, and this is something that I've always wanted to do. Had the opportunity to start it and grow it into what we're doing today.
Right.
And
That's
if
great.
I wasn't doing this, I'd be hanging out in the strip clubs and the casinos or something like that. You know?
And the problem with that is, oh, it's expensive.
Yeah.
That's a problem with that.
So,
Nobody-
you know, unfortunately, here we are again. We're at the end of the show. I hate this.
Time flies, man. God.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like I get people in here and they say, "Ah, man, I don't have enough to talk about for an hour," and then they go, "Wow, we're done already." You know?
It's awesome, man.
So anyway,
Thank you.
And talking about the books, I want to remind everybody that this Saturday from 9 to 11, I'll be out at Borders on Rainbow for a book signing. So,
You wrote a book?
no, I just go out there and sign books. If you go and buy a book, I'll sign it. I got a little table set up there, and I'll just sign your
All
book
right.
for you.
I will give you a couple books to
Okay,
sign.
cool.
I'll buy my own books.
Okay. Don, is there anything that you'd like to let the people know before we wrap this up? Anything that you'd like to share?
Check out my website for more information than you'd ever want, donbarnhart.com. And no matter how bad it is, keep falling forward. You know, there is no failure in life. There's only lessons learned of what not to do. So follow your dreams and hang in there.
Find you funny.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
That's great. Okay. Hey, guys, thanks again for sharing this with us. We do appreciate it. We're all in this together, so hang in there. And you know what I say? If you're going to do it with styles. Thanks.
Nice work, John.